What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, so I'm in Dakar, Senegal right now, and I have to say it's absolutely beautiful. Like, just beautiful. And I have to admit, I'm very, very lucky. Obviously, I've got a job right now that makes me travel a bit. And I probably wouldn't have ever come to Senegal if it wasn't for the job. But now, regardless of working here, I will definitely come back. It's beautiful. Where I'm filming is the only place I could find to film. I wanted to film at the front of the hotel where you get the sea view and the infinity pool. So I might put some clips of that so you guys can see how beautiful that is, but it was far too windy. So I'm filming here right now. I have been off the boxing radar for like 2 days, just been putting my head down and grafted out here. For those of you that wanted to know what I'm doing out here, so I'm working for Fox Sports and ESPN out here. So they have, they've started a tournament called the WAFU Cup of Nations. So it's the West African Football Union Cup of Nations. For those of you in Europe, it's pretty much like the Nations League that England are playing in and the rest of Europe are playing in right now. So not just boxing, but football, which is very, very good for me. So I've been out of the boxing radar for a couple of days. I didn't even know what was going on in the boxing world. And then I went onto Deontay Wilder's page and found out that Deontay Wilder is fighting Luis Ortiz. What do people make of it? What are your gut feelings straight away? Happy, not happy? I knew it was coming already. I think I done a video saying that it was going to be Luis Ortiz, Fury, Joshua in succession. Didn't know what order. So it looks like we are going to get Ortiz first. It definitely was for me one of the fights of the year for 2018. So it's a good matchup, but it's just not what we want, is it? It's just not what we want. It's so strange. I feel like it's done a complete, I don't know, it's all over the place. So it started as, I don't know, Wilder definitely wanting Joshua. I think we can admit that. Wilder seemed to want Joshua. And from the outset, or from the outside looking in, it looked like Joshua maybe didn't want Wilder, or at least Eddie Hearn didn't want Joshua to fight Wilder. Now it's very clear Joshua wants to fight Wilder, right? He mentions it all the time. So much so, I hope he's not overlooking Andy Ruiz Jr., but he mentions that he wants to fight Wilder. And now all of a sudden, it almost looks like Wilder doesn't want to fight Joshua, right? You saw that interview that he did with Jim Gray at the end of the Dominic Breazeale fight, and it was non-committal, it was all over the place. So we get Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder 2. And now this makes sense as to why Luis Ortiz turned down the fight with Joshua. A lot of people said, including myself, that maybe it's because he will piss hot, right? He's maybe taking something that he shouldn't take, and he won't pass the drugs test. I still do believe that a little bit. But it's obviously because he was told, you know what, don't fight Joshua, you're going to get the Wilder fight next. This makes absolutely no sense if I'm Luis Ortiz. And you know when you get those boxers that retire and talk about how they were mismanaged and they were robbed and their managers done them wrong, Luis Ortiz reminds me of a boxer that will do that. How on earth, and it's clear that he's been advised to do so, but how on earth can you turn down, what was it, $6-7 million to fight Anthony Joshua for 4 belts, Madison Square Garden, and then fight Deontay Wilder instead, right? There is absolutely no way on this earth he's getting paid $6-7 million to fight Deontay Wilder. There's absolutely no way. So I don't know how you can choose to fight Wilder instead of Joshua. It doesn't make sense. Honestly, I get the revenge factor. I get that for, I don't know, 20 seconds in round number 7, you thought you had him, but this makes no sense whatsoever. And I feel like, again, he's been mismanaged. He's been advised wrongly. And again, it doesn't make sense. Again, Anthony Joshua, 4 belts, $7 million. Deontay Wilder, fight already happened, 1 belt. I'm going to guess and say $2 million. I'm going to guess and say he gets a bit more than what Dominic Breazeale got, just because it's a voluntary and they can negotiate a bit more, but it's not going to be more than that. It's not going to be more than that, so it doesn't make sense. I do think it'll be a good fight. I do think, obviously Luis Ortiz caused him problems last time, but Deontay Wilder's got that power we know, and that power got him out of jail. But I feel like Ortiz is getting older and Wilder seems to get more confident. So I can only see one outcome, right? As for Wilder, what's he doing? I mean, Wilder fans, please explain, what is your boy doing? You were offered $20 million for Dominic Breazeale, and then 2 back-to-back fights with AJ for $50 million apiece. $120 million. We're led to believe that you got paid $10 million for Dominic Breazeale, and I know there is absolutely no way on this fucking earth you're getting paid $50 million for Luis Ortiz. So what are we doing? What are we in this for? What are we in this for? legacy fights and money. That's what it's about right now. At this stage of your career, it's money and legacy fights. Anthony Joshua is a money fight and a legacy fight. Luis Ortiz is neither. We've seen it. We've seen it done. You beat him. You know, I was upset for about 20 minutes. I got over it. It's done. I don't want to see it again. That doesn't mean it won't be a good fight, but I've seen it happen already. It's like Canelo versus Golovkin. I've seen it. That's a great fight, but I don't want to see Golovkin versus Canelo. I want to see Canelo versus Demetrius Andrade. I want to see Canelo versus Charlo. I want to see Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders because I've already seen it. So when you say, I think he said something on his Twitter page that he always wants to erase doubts. What doubts? You beat him, you stopped him, right? It didn't go to points. It wasn't a controversial decision. It stopped him. Tyson Fury's doubts. That one, fine. But no. This is all becoming bullshit, if I'm honest with you. You've got one promoter and one fighter screaming now to fight Wilder. It's clear. You've got Joshua and Eddie Hearn saying, let this fight happen. And you've got another side, Al Heyman we don't hear from. So you've got Shelley Finkel saying it will happen. And Wilder, again, non-committal. I mean, this isn't a duck. I don't think Wilder's scared of Joshua at all. But I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what this is. Again, there's more money, more belts, and more prestige in fighting Joshua, but yet you fight Ortiz because, I don't know. Is it a big pay-per-view fight? No, not really. Ortiz hasn't done much since the loss. It's not like Ortiz has gone through and smashed White and maybe smashed Rivas and smashed Povetkin and now it's a big fight. He hasn't done much since that. So, makes no sense. And again, I question the people behind Ortiz that made Ortiz reject the fight with Joshua. Bigger money, more prestige, more belts to take this fight with Wilder. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.